Hey everybody, it's Seti the Wind Sage, and welcome back to Let's Play Kindred Spirits on the Roof. In the last episode, we finished up with, Aki's free time events. Those being the last of the free time events we have for Yoki and Adiu. And did I say free time events? I meant Apple events. I've been playing a little too much Danganronpa lately, if you couldn't tell. And in this episode, we're going to be starting up with a new set of free time events for a Apple events for a new couple. But before we get going, forgive me if the commentary on this episode's a little weird. Like I said, I'm recording this. This is the first video I've recorded since the recent update video came out, for those who have the context of that time. So I have not recorded in a while, and I decided to do a little Kindred Spirits on the Roof because it's a nice, simple game. And also, like I've mentioned in an update video before, please forgive the static. This is still using the temporary mic. This is still using the temporary mic. So yeah, like I said, I'd be doing some of the post-game stuff with this, but yeah. Because this isn't a bad mic, all things considered, it just has that static problem. Anyway, I've been pondering for this for a little more than like 5 months. Seriously, that's when I last recorded the last one. Pretty much like September of last year or something like that. It was insane, more than 5 months at that point actually. And I decided that we got all the ones in April, so moving on to May, I've decided that we're going with come on, I know you're in here somewhere. Don't make a fool out of me. Is it in the next month? Honestly, jeez. We are go. Okay, let me just check this last one. Might as well, yeah. But we are going to be doing Umi's free time events, and pretty much what I decided with the extra events, free time events, Apple events, whatever you want to call them at this point, because I will be interchanging it for a while. I decided that we are going to be covering at least Umi and Sasas right now. I haven't decided if we're going to do Nena to do like the whole trifecta of friends, or we're just doing couples. It's a bit of a complicated matter, but I decided that we're going to be going with Umi and Sasas next, or just that whole spiel. Because, well, honestly, I made it like, when it comes to couples, this is the kind of next one I wanted to cover, and just kind of like with the traditional ranking of the couples that we've been ranking at this point, it's among one of my least favorites, and giving it some very proper thought, this is probably my least favorite. And I think I mentioned it a little bit last part because I was looking a little bit at my old parts just to make sure. It's a couple that it's pretty much the first couple Yuna really starts working with. Like, I mean, you got a little bit of Maki and Miki, but yeah, but we didn't really do much with that for a while, where this one is the real one you like officially, like, this is pretty much the first one you start working with, and the first one that I believe becomes an official couple that you see. So yeah, but it also, like, it's the first one that you see, yeah, and it has that kind of little value of it. And but it really doesn't last long, as you have June, you have July, which they show up very little in July, then you have August, and you're done with it. They appear every once in a while in the game after that point, but they really kind of stop with the couple thing at July, and yeah, that bothers me a little bit. Anyway, we're going to be, and I decided to go with Umi first, because Umi honestly is kind of the least developed of the characters, because like I am under the like when it comes to characters, you see the first person perspective of, with this couple especially, or this group of friends especially, Umi you see the least. And so, well, maybe not the least, it's weird, but it's like, I'm also not the biggest fan of Umi, and like, I don't think any of these characters are bad, but yeah. 5-minute ramble. This very much is a Setting the Wind Sage visual novel video, but like I said, commentary is going to be a bit awkward, and also please mind the sound. I'm trying to properly like sound mix. This is my first video in a while, so OBS, like, I need to reconfig OBS a little bit, so plus the new mic, it's kind of interesting. It might not sound as great as some of the other videos, but please bear with me. Anyway, Umi's about multitasking. I don't know, I just realized it occurred to me to ask, when is this taking place in the, in relationship to, well, in relationship to, the main story? Because I know, like, also in this month is the, event of Sasa's confession, but I don't think that's happened yet. I probably should have checked that out, but, yeah. Man, I gotta say, I've been away from this game for far too long, so yeah, I really enjoyed this game. I kind of gotta get back. I gotta kind of get back into it. Things might be resolved by that. I do wonder, like, oh man, I really should have taken a thorough look at the calendar before we got there to get a sense of the story, because it's been a while, like I said. But I wonder if this does relate to, I wonder if this does relate to, like, I wonder if that does relate to the, I wonder if that does relate to, like, the kind of, like, what word am I trying to go? Like, I wonder if this was during, like, the kind of awkward time Sono and Kitty were having in their relationship because of all that was going on then, yeah. I don't think it was. Like, part of me wants to say I don't think it was, but yeah. Then there was the thing of Umi asking about it and then Kitty panicking a little. So, yeah. Anyway. I can sympathize with this a little too well. Because it's kind of weird, like, if I were to even attempt doing the same thing that Ubi's doing right now, that it would be weird because, like, say it's like she's reading an article and listening to music, it's like, I would not be able to properly read the article because the music's distracting me, but at the same time, in my attempt to, like, say, read the article, I'm not listening to, like, lyrics on the music, I'm just listening to the music barely. So it ends up this weird combination of I can't really do either at the exact same time. I'm focusing on one thing or the other. I can multitask a little bit, but yeah, nowhere near as much. When you do kind of video editing stuff, you do learn to multitask a little bit. Like, it's a little bit of a survival method you gotta do at that point, but yeah. It's mostly kind of easy with video editing, at least, because, or kind of all the YouTube stuff I do, because you can usually it's usually not necessarily multitasking, it's doing a task, setting it aside, like putting it to the background, and taking care of something else. Occasionally checking on the other thing. But yeah. Or have the efficiency, depending on. Oh, so wait, this is actually... oh, wait, so this is actually a tactic that Zumi's doing. That's actually kind of impressive. Like getting your... like, always multitasking to get yourself into the mindset to, like, make it better. It's kind of hard to explain. Umi definitely explains it better than I do, but like, kind of find it interesting that it's actually a tactic, and not just like, oh, broadcasting's always busy, so you always got to be doing. So she has to be multitasking. So yeah. Well, then to be able to multitask a lot, you probably need to have a knack for it. It's okay. Forget everything I was saying before. She just came up with the radio crap afterwards. Got nothing to do with it. And I forgot how slow my character transitions are. It's like, but when you know when a character's fading in and out, it's like, yeah, it's very quick and snappy. But it's like when they're actually just trying to transition them out, it's awkwardly slow. Anyway, also sorry if I sound a little weird. I am a tad sick, so yeah. And I remember why I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of this couple. Yep. Read that date and weep. Read that date and weep, guys. That's the last time I. October 12th. I'm actually impressed it's that recent. That is not something to be proud of, but yeah, that's how. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. I'm going to assume this is the next one for Umi. Okay. And I just like I kind of dawned on me why I don't necessarily like the couple as much as I do. And not just the couple, the group of friendship itself. It's very hard for me, like, the dynamic all of these characters have is weird. Because you notice that, like, Nena and Sasa are kind of low energy characters. At Sasa, it's more indifference, but it's like they're kind of like lower energy characters, and Umi is very hyper. So that's what I kind of realized what it is like, and it might be like I had a lot of I had a lot of respect for the dynamic afterward, like during the game. So maybe it's because it's been a while and I separated from the game. I'm looking at it with the fresh batch of eyes that it probably needs. But you notice that like Nana and Sasa are very low energy characters, and Umi seems to be trying to make up for that by being very high energy. But the thing is with it is that Umi is so high energy, and Nana and Sasa are truly low energy that it's not necessarily a balance. It's not kind of necessarily a balance. It makes the dynamics a tiny bit harder to completely get with. When you get scenes like actually this CG over here where kind of you know, Umi's a little lower energy and like Nana is a little like higher energy, and kind of Sauce is also good in that scene. Like when they're kind of balanced out, or you really see more like when you're seeing the friendship dynamic from Nana and Sauce's eyes, it's a lot easier to swallow, because like Umi's really kind of the one that's kind of connecting these two together, like connecting like their friendship together. But yeah, sometimes it's like sometimes Umi's very high energy, along with the other two characters kind of low energy, kind of like there's not always a good synchronization. I remember in the beginning I didn't like them too much, but this is post that event, and I want to check something. Nope, it's this one. Rain falls in love. Okay, so it's around that day, I'm pretty sure, for at least for Umi, and so it was love event. Like there was the okay, so for story context, Kitty was avoiding Sono around this time. Like she was like she was avoiding her. All right. That put things in perspective pretty good. But yeah, I'm pretty sure if it's not it was before the couple events. It was before they I think this is when Umi and Sasa became a couple, like, because My Troublesome Friends 2 falls under there too. So yeah, this is all the before. And this event we're gonna do right now with Ladylike is okay. So it's after they've become a couple, and it's also after this confrontation. So Nana also is aware of it, or Nana's made it aware to Umi and Sasa that she's aware. So yeah, this is around the good steady point of Umi and Sasa's relationship. I kind of like, for a little detail effect, the song actually did change. So yeah. Oh, I see why this is called Ladylike, a little bit. Because I noticed, like, you know, there's the ellipses, and then there's the, like, rephrased to be a little fancier sentence. So yeah. Whatever could. Okay, I'm catching it now. Okay, so okay, like okay, it's also a little, yeah. Like, don't worry, I'm properly reading all of this. Just like sometimes I don't know. It's been a bit of a long day, so I'm a tad tired. So like I'm reading all of it, just not retaining the whole every second of it. But like, yeah, I think I get a little bit of what's going on. Like Umi was saying stuff about like you know, oh, Miss Sauce. That's, you know what, that should have tipped me off. Like, a student duty is study, but also having fun is important as well. All that stuff. Yeah, no, now that I'm looking at it, that is a little out of character for Umi. Never mind. Either way. Anyway. Yeah, I really need to get back into the recording swing of things, but yeah. Best way to do that is to just record. To tag me in that creepy way you're talking. Yeah. Looking at it in hindsight, I was gonna say like that doesn't sound too out of character for me. It's like, nope, it really is. It really kind of is. Because you notice when someone who generally speaks very casually starts suddenly speaking in a very dignified like manner, a very like professional attempting manner, it is actually kind of glaring. But like, yeah, at first I thought it was fine, but like, yeah, now looking at it, it is kind of not necessarily out of character, but weird. Pretty sure that's not what ladylike means. Yeah, you know, I can get what Ubi's trying to do, but yeah, it is weird. Man, I need to rewatch some of my old Kindred Spirits on the Roof parts, because yeah, it really has been a while since I've played this game. I'm really excited to get back to it, but yeah, now that I'm reading it again, the time is making itself very apparent. It's the magazine personality quiz. Considering Umi seems to be reading magazines a lot, if not for broadcasting, just because I guess it's something she likes doing, it guess it makes sense that she'd probably take something like this more seriously than she should. Not that like personality assessment stuff like this are ever necessarily bad things, but like take them with a grain of salt, kind of. How could you tell what I was reading? Maybe I shouldn't have left it open to that page. Like, Wow, that is actually a little accurate. I don't necessarily like bring out darkness, but it's like this goes. I feel that goes a bit into a little bit of the energy thing I was talking about. Like Umi's a very high energy, pretty much hyperactive character, where Nena and Sasa are like again very low energy characters. But and mostly what I mean by that is like Umi's a little too hyperactive, and you see that like either Nena's constantly tired and sometimes just seems sick of Umi's crap, and Sasa like never seems like she's caring, so never mind. But hopefully you get what I mean. It's a little hard to explain, but yeah. People around you may find your brightness annoying. Be careful. Yep. That is pretty accurate. You guys have been friends for a really long time, so it makes sense that Nena knows you pretty well. Like this is another goes into the whole energy thing I was talking about. This is the last tangent, I promise, at least for this point. But this is, I'll talk about this at the end. What I'm doing, but pretty much the short version of my opinion is, it's stuff like this with the friendship dynamic that helps show the good bond all of these guys have a little bit more. I'll go into more detail about it at the end. You're worried about being annoying now. Ouch. That does cut a bit sharp, honestly. But yeah, that's another thing. If you've pretty much set your personality up, and people can recognize you for it, if you suddenly change, it is kind of weird. Oh man, you can kind of see the pain on Sasa's face when she says that. Like, I mean, this is after they've already been like a thing, so it's not like she's necessarily like pained in saying it, but you can tell that Sasa's not like a like you can tell Sasa's very much a some things can just be left unsaid sort of person when it comes to her emotions. Like it's kind of the fact that like they're already crap, how do I put it? It's kind of the fact that like Sasa's very just kind of reserved into herself, and she generally doesn't necessarily like openly sharing her like she doesn't necessarily like openly sharing her emotions, so it kind of does fluster her a bit. Like you see that a lot in the pre-development of their relationship too. But yeah. So it's like you could see how this kind of like would fluster her. Yep, now peace has been properly restored. All right, that was a better Apple event. Okay, now there was a point I was saying a little while back about the little how when Nana and Sasa are kind of put to the forefront when talking about the friendship, how it kind of betters itself a little bit. It's kind of like that thing of not only is Umi like very high energy as opposed to them being low energy, Umi takes charge a lot. Is another thing. She's the one planning all the activities and pretty much dragging those other two along with them. And yes, most of the time it is, and yes, most of the time it seems she's kind of forcefully doing it, and they're kind of going along with it. Sometimes, mostly reluctantly. So when it's like that, it's a little like chemistry between them is a little hard to see. It sometimes almost makes it seem like they deal with Umi rather than actually think of her as a friend. But then you have the events like right here that just happened with Umi and Nana, where like that does show kind of their friend thing. How like Nana has Umi totally figured out with the personality quiz, and then they see how they're both kind of like, like you don't need to change. In fact, it's a lot weirder when you do. Like, kind of, again, accepting Umi, kind of like accepting Umi's quirky nature for the way it is. And along with that, they also kind of like gave Umi an insecurity or worry in this little scenario, which we do like. If you remember from the Cherry events, she does have a little bit of that. Like, her friendship is like her kind of mentality of like close friendships was kind of born from an insecurity. I can't exactly remember it. It has something to do with friends in the past, but a little hard to remember. I think it's like she had to move, like she moved from a different town and she was a bit lonely or something like that. Okay, a little hard to remember. But when they give, like, again, it's kind of lowering Umi's energy a little bit, kind of like normalizing it, I guess. Because I do stick by the fact that I feel Umi is a little too high energied. And they make Nana and Sasa like more kind of active, like upping their energy a little bit. And it kind of makes everything stable and kind of balanced. It doesn't feel like it feels like this is actual concern they're showing for their best friend, as opposed to just, okay, Umi's being creepy, we gotta do something about it. Like, it feels like they're doing it with purpose, essentially. And now this one. Oh crap, I forgot to check, but this one takes place with the story. Regardless, I'm pretty sure it's after the events that the events that happened, which cause us to probably never see Umi and Sasa again. Yeah, we saw them in the story after that, but we never actually got any memory serves. We never got any cherry events after that event happened. So you just like, you know, you assume what just actually happens. Everything is all right. It's all cool after that. But it's like, man, I want to see like. I want to see a little more after that, but yeah, you kind of don't. But I'm pretty sure this takes place after that. I'll recheck if I have to, but I'm pretty sure. Wait, oh my god, Paris thought Umi is by herself for an event? Well, yeah, this is just another thing. Is like, you also never really see Umi by herself, so she never really like, so she spends most of her time bouncing her personality off other characters, where again most of the other characters you see them alone. You like, you can see you've seen them by themselves or hanging out with someone who is not their significant other or in their kind of group of traditional friends. And you kind of get to see a different side of them. With Umi, you didn't see much of that in the main story. Like, you saw her either hanging out with Nena and Sasa, or with just Sasa. I don't think she ever hung out with Nena by herself. But yeah, so... yeah. It is interesting the fact that Umi is by herself. So, might actually give up... It might actually give a bit of opportunity to, yeah, kind of like express a little more of her character that we haven't already seen. Well, that confirms that, yeah, events from the certain them becoming one event did happen, and it happened very recently. Okay. Well, you know, running a whole ton does not slow your heart rate down. I know that's not what she means, but yeah. It's pretty much one thing, pretty much the epitome of one thing led to another. And of course, you know, since I haven't touched this game in a long time, we didn't see that event in an even longer time, but of course now but like something about like all of those events is like, once it happens, it kind of just becomes a haze in my mind. It's like, of course, of course I had to be properly reminded of it, huh? I remember it threw me for a loop because that was the first, time we ever got one of those events in this game. And little did I know it would later become a trend. Oh hey, it's Mickey. Saint of Shiroja? Wow, I really don't remember that nickname. But at the same time, I never actually learned what this school was called. Because like it's something that's never brought up. Like it's brought up without a doubt. Probably something. Okay, now I never properly remembered the name of this school because it's mentioned so little. I know it's because it kind of doesn't matter, but yeah. Okay, that's a little funny. And it's actually a brilliant example of what I was actually talking about. Kind of. Jeez, October. Alright, let's. Love advice. But, anyway. Grab had a wow. I'm surprised how fast I went to the next one. I usually hang on the calendar a bit longer. But anyway. Okay, no, I have my point now. Anyway, okay. Let me get my bearing shakes because I just realized I went into this way too fast. I didn't even properly finish what I was saying. Anyway, that last event was kind of a good example of what I was talking about. Where when a character is by themselves or interacting with someone, let me know her interaction with Miki. I don't really count as an example of that though, because it is like, it's barely even an interaction. It's just, hey, it's pretty much a reference more than interaction. But you see kind of a different side of a character when left to their own devices. Either by themselves, they're thinking deep in thought with themselves. Because I do remember that Umi did kind of have an inner monologue before. And she was a little more kind of somber in tone and a little, because it was kind of a bit of her backstory or kind of reason why she, like, why she values friendship a lot. And that's what that was. But it's still a good example, especially when it's, especially since she was thinking of that situation, which is also a very, kind of new experience for her. Jeez, I have to be subtle, but gee, like, I can't directly say what happened, but yeah, talking in subtleties is almost weirder, but anyway. So you see, like, you see her by herself. She's also, Umi's also, and pretty much make this the word of the day, low energied, like lower energy, or just not her usual like super cheerful and optimistic self. And you see a different side of her. She's a bit more somber, a little and a little more serious. So yeah. And that's a good example of that, you know, left to, like, leave Umi by herself and kind of remove her from friends for a little bit, and you get a little more expansion on her character. Anyway, let's get going. Holy shit, you didn't stutter at all. That actually is kind of impressive. I forgot, but I just kind of remember they actually made a joke about that in the, like, way earlier on, where Umi does stutter a lot. Which I can which I really do get. If you couldn't tell, I stutter a crap ton too, so yeah. In fact, I'm pretty sure I was stuttering, trying to get my point across, a second ago. So, yeah. Wait, crap. I was correct. Stutterfly, yeah, that was even the joke. Somebody out there so desperate they need our advice. That is actually kind of funny. You do kind of see stuff like that in a radio show, though, like kind of, like, you know, fan questions and stuff like that. But the way Sasa phrases it is awesome. Oh wait. Oh crap! At first I thought there was gonna be a, you know, like, throwaway to generic student number 1, but wait, like letters probably not as big. Is this Hina? Well, I mean, it says love at first sight, so maybe not. But like, that would be kind of interesting if it was referring to Hina. I mean, it's probably not. Yeah, again, it might be like the more I'm looking at like the exact text, it's probably not. But okay, yeah, it's probably not. Sorry, it's I don't talk about the Hina Yuna couple a lot because it comes in very late game, but that is also a really good couple. So anything that I would consider a reference to that, yeah. Anyway. Oh dear. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, it's not shocking at this point, but it's like, but it's like, you know, you see this question, you don't think much of it, and then you just kind of get that thrown on the back. It's like, you know, probably does kind of throw you for a loop a bit, even if I'm pretty sure this is an all-girls school, and it said like, it said this is someone they met in the yeah, the school festival. So I mean, I am pretty much believe this is an all-girls school. I don't think they ever specify that. They kind of leave it ambiguous, but it's like, yeah, I don't know. I can't help but feel it is because you never hear even mention of male students in this school. So yeah. Anyway. I can imagine that can, like, throw you for a loop if you're not expecting it. Well, I mean, I don't, like, even if it is important, I don't think that's necessarily the first thing you write in a letter. But, like, yeah, don't write it just in some random corner in the back. Yeah, honestly, if I'm going to be completely honest, that is still very good advice, though. It's like, if you have feelings for someone and you don't tell them, like, if you have feelings for someone and you don't tell them anything, and like you're keeping it a secret, like you're stuck with you're stuck with those unresolved. You're stuck with those feelings kind of unresolved, and they in theory don't know anything. They might have an idea of it depending on whether or not you're really good or bad at keeping secrets, but like, Umi and Sasa is a very good example of this. Sasa was left with some kind of issue she wasn't able to resolve because she didn't have the courage to talk to Umi, and well, Sasa wasn't very subtle about it, but Umi's also very oblivious, so there's the other part of it, so yeah. Well, I mean, the Sasa was pretty good at keeping the secret, but it's like, yeah, you were just kind of stuck with that for a while, though. This is very interesting how they're actually they're using their direct experiences from something like this. So yeah. Face plant on the table like a pup with the strings cut. Yeah, it also just kind of confirming the fact that it isn't Hina. It was like, oh man, I was trying to look a little too deep for a reference that wasn't there. But also the fact is Hina pretty much said her feeling. Like, Hina confessed immediately during Hina confessed pretty much immediately. So yeah, I think it's just something for progressing the story, not necessarily a thing. And with that, hopefully, I think we're done. I haven't done our parts in a long time. Gotta return back to form. And we're done. So we got Mickey and Kitty. Okay, we pretty much all know what I'm gonna do next. And yeah, there it is. So before we go off, I guess I can give a little bit of a last minute analysis to that. Yeah, it's honestly, all of these events match up with the quality of the game as it has been at this point. Really good. Like something like, I might have my moments where I'm frustrated with the game, but it's ultimately a really good game. And even the moments that I think are frustrating are ultimately still good. As opposed to my opinion of Umi, kind of the relationship, like, again, I never hated it, and a lot of what I said in this episode about their dynamic, I believed back then too. I'm saying back then because it's been a few months since I've outright touched this game and series. So yeah, it's good. It's really good. I still wouldn't necessarily say it's my favorite though. Again, Kiri and Sono is very hard to beat. But kind of like with Koba and Adiu's relationship in those events, because those episodes will have come out already, even though they haven't yet. Again, it's all good, and I feel doing the pretty good approach with this by taking this in order of the characters that like I wasn't necessarily a huge fan of. Like I wasn't necessarily a huge fan of these characters, and it helps me improve my opinion of them overall right before the end. So yeah, but like again, like with how like everything in this game is absolutely spectacular and fantastic, maybe overselling it a bit there. It's a really good game overall. It's like Umi and Sasa and Nena kind of, I'm gonna count all three at this for this point, don't necessarily do much to stick out, and I guess that is kind of their thing, being average. But it's like, it's really good, but it's also the quality I'd come to expect from Kindred Spirits on the Roof. So with Sono and Kitty, I think Sono and Kitty is absolutely amazing, and it's still one of my favorites for a reason. Yuna and Hina is also a really good one too, even though I don't talk about it that much. But like, yeah, those are absolutely amazing, and I feel done really well. And with Sona and Kiri, that's kind of impressive, considering a lot of these characters are kind of equal in my mind, from the fact that you only see them for so much time. But Sona and Kitty kind of step out of that for me. And even now, I still don't 100% know why. I think I just like the dynamic there a lot. I think they're one of the better written couples. Sorry, but yeah, but I guess I can say, even though it's quality I've come to expect, it's still really good. Because like, I'll tell you this, I don't know what my least favorite couple is. It still might be them just by default, but because I have to have a least favorite, or just ones I don't like as much as others. But it's like, when the thing I can say about potentially one of my least favorite couples is that it's very good, or that it's good, it shows the pretty good mark quality for a game. And so yeah, I think all these characters are written well, and yeah, I think I'm just gonna end it off here and just not necessarily ramble for rambling's sake. Again, we're gonna be covering Sasa next, and then I don't know if we're gonna be doing Nena, because I kind of want to do Nena and Ano as kind of a thing, but I guess I don't have to. It's very awkward, because those are the only two because those two characters have the distinction of not being a ship, even though I kind of low-key ship them, and I know I'm not the only one. Maybe it is a canon thing in like the audio dramas, because I know there's audio drama series for that. I still don't know how I'm going to cover those, but anyway, I'm rambling again, but this is really good. We're going to be covering Sasa next episode, and if we do Nena, we might just do Nena then follow with Ano. The thing is like, at that point there'd probably be a bit of a disconnect where at least Nena has Umi and Sasa. Ano's also a good friend with her, right? Yeah. Anyway, next time on Kindred Spirits on the Roof, we're going to be going with Sasa. We're gonna go with Sasa's implements, and yeah, I'm gonna make sure I didn't miss any. I didn't miss any. I'm pretty sure. 3 events. It's about an hour 10-minute long video. So yeah. Anyway, see you guys then.